First of all, thanks so much for making time for this interview.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm happy to.
For those who don't know you in France, could you introduce yourself in a few words?
Oh, boy. Well, my name is Danni Leigh, and I'm a country music artist and songwriter, and I tend to do more of the traditional American country music.
What do you prefer to write song, to play live, or to record an album?
That's always a very difficult question because I enjoy so much all three of them. I would say that in my lifetime, I just hope that I can continue to do all three. The live performance to me is very important because I get a lot of energy and a lot of passion in my shows, and I love going and seeing different faces and crowds. And of course, songwriting is so important to me because I like to. I have recorded other people's songs, but I also really think that it's important for an artist a singer, to write their own lyrics and be able to feel that emotion that comes out that's so true in experience of life. So, and recording, of course, that's a necessary thing. You have to do that, if you want your music to get out there. So all three, I think, are very, very important to me.
All right. How do you get into music?
I fell into it. I tripped and fell.
Okay.
No, it's actually a very natural thing for me. I believe my father's side of the family is musically inclined in a very natural way, and also my mother's side of the family are also musicians and singers and songwriters, and they also acquired the talent through just natural ability and learning. And so I think it was very normal for me to go into music. I have, however, taken it to a more of a professional lifetime of music, I think, more so than anyone else in my family. But yeah, I think it's just something that was bound to happen in my life.
How will you describe the music that you play?
The music that I play is, I would call it nowadays, I would call it roots music. Or in the United States, I would describe it as Americana. I think here in Europe, they call it, traditional country. But I don't do the pop country that's famous in the United States right now. I do more of the stuff that I grew up with, which is Merle Haggard and Kitty Wells and Patsy Cline, and on up to Chris Christopherson as a songwriting, a way that I drive my songs. And it's more, like I said, it's more of the traditional rootsy stuff.
In France, you are always associated with the honky-tonk style.
Exactly.
Why?
Well, I think because when I write songs, I do it in the way that I listened to the people that I listened to when I was growing up, and I did listen to a lot of honky tonk and Bakersfield music, Buck Owens and Merle Haggard and Dwight Yoakam, and I do tend to write just automatically. I tend to write stuff that sounds like honky tonk, and I enjoy playing that. I think it's one of our forms of country music that's getting lost nowadays. So I really appreciate it when people say that my music is honky tonk.
And we like it this way, so no problem.
That's good news.
Could you explain us for French listener the difference between the country music of Nashville and the one of Austin?
Well, I love both places, and I've also lived and performed in both of those cities. I can say that in Austin, Texas, the country music scene is more, they pay more attention to the singer-songwriter, and most of the artists that come out of there are such. They sing, they play the instruments, and they write their own songs. So I would say that it's definitely in Austin, Americana/roots. And I think it's very natural for all of those folks down there to record and play and sing songs of their own. And in Nashville, it's a record. Well, an artist goes in and records, and there are a lot of artists that record their own songs. But there's also a great community there that are songwriters, and they're paid to write songs for other artists. So I think that in Nashville, a lot of recording artists go and get other talented songwriters, pieces that they've written and interpret them in their own way. So, I mean, both are great. Both are equally just as great as the other, but there is a huge difference. And of course, Nashville is a lot more commercial than Austin. Austin tends to be rootsy, and you can love both of them for both of the for the different reasons. But it is that. I think Nashville is more commercial, and Austin is more Americana.
Okay. Your fourth album is named Masquerade of a Fool.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to you?
Basically, it means, masquerade, I always think of a mask, or you see the big parties with people with masks on. And I think it's basically like trying to hide the fact that I've been a fool with love in the past.
That's sad.
Well, it's just true,
Okay.
You can't fight the truth. I'm not now, though. I'm happily married.
All right.
I've gotten it right.
Okay. Are you preparing number 5?
Yes, I am. I'm always writing songs. My husband and I write songs together, and we're always on the road together. He also plays bass for me. So we're always writing songs, and we've got brand new music. We're just waiting. We've just moved back to the States. We lived in Europe for a little while. So we've just moved back to the United States, and we are preparing, and hopefully we'll find a great studio there and get in there and record a new record very soon, I hope.
That's a good news.
Yes, it is for me too. I have to keep the train rolling.
Each time I interview someone, I ask that person what he or she thinks about another person. In your case, it will be a country singer. So what does Danni Leigh think about Dwight Yoakam?
Oh, well, that's easy. That's an easy one. Oh, I think in my lifetime, Dwight Yoakam came along in country music and put country music back where it should be. I think that as an entertainer, as a human being, I love him as a friend. He's great. But as an entertainer, as a songwriter, as a singer, he's fantastic. I think he bumped up the bar, if you know what I mean, because we had a while there where things were changing in country music, as it always will. But there's always someone that comes into the scene and puts the bar up to where it should be again. And I think that Dwight Yoakam is an amazing talent in all of those forms. I think he's one of the best songwriters that I've known in my life. And I really appreciate his music. And, of course, the people that surround him are also very talented people as well. And everybody knows that you have to have those good people around you to be able to make music, as good as you would like for it to be. So I think that he's definitely an icon for country music, and everyone should look to him to be just as good and as classy as Dwight Yoakam is.
As you might know, today the world of music is shocked by the announcement of the death of Mr. Michael Jackson, who died last Thursday in his home in Los Angeles, California. Do you have something to say about the man, the artist?
Well, when I was a young girl, I had my walls covered with posters of Michael Jackson. It's just it's hard not to love a man that an artist and a talented man like Michael Jackson. So it's a great loss for us in the States, of course. And for me personally, as I said, when I was growing up, he was the number one thing that was out there. And he's so amazing that I was shocked. I mean, it took me, when I was told of his death, it took me several moments to really be able to almost move again normally. It was a big blow. It was a big shock and a sad day. But I guess it's just nature and it's what happens in life. So, but yeah, it's sad for me because like I said, as a little girl, I always heard his music and watched him on television and went to concerts to see him live. So it's very sad.
You are one of the lucky ones to be able to perform in many countries, as Europe and North America.
Mm-hmm.
Today, there is a high demand for country music in Europe. Will it be easier for American artists to play country music outside the USA?
It depends. Are you asking me about traditional country or honky tonk?
Let's say traditional.
I think that yes. I think that the European audience for country music likes the rootsy, more traditional sound of American country music. So, I mean, it's one thing that has sustained my career is being able to come to Europe and perform all over, the continent. So, I mean, it's been a saving grace for me. And I do think that the European crowd does like the traditional sounds more so nowadays than maybe a lot of the audiences in the States. So I think it's easy, and I think every artist that has the ability to come over here should definitely take that chance because it's great. I mean, I promote it all the time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You have played in France for the Peinture Argent Festival in 2001.
Yes.
You came back in France in 2003. Do you miss the French scene?
Oh, I think they're very open. Our shows in France have always been great for us because it seems like we can throw anything musically at a French crowd and they enjoy it. I think that they're very open-minded and that they feel the music more than I think they really listen to the music, and that's important because there are some times when you don't feel like a crowd is really listening to you. And but I think in France that we've always had a very good crowd there, and we've performed there in very small shows and large ones, and we've done lots of different things in France, and it's always been a great time for us, and we've always appreciated being able to go there.
Do you miss France?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, we have lots of friends that live in France, so
okay.
Yeah, we miss it.
Do you ever plan to come back?
Oh, definitely. I'm sure we will. We've even done small little town festivals that have been turned out to be some of our greatest shows and memories. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be back.
All right. What type of advice could you give to someone who wants to start singing country music in France today?
Oh, I would say definitely start writing your own songs. I think that that's one of the best ways a singer or a musician can portray who they are musically. So, I mean, I think that's an important thing, and I think that as long as someone who wants to do this remains true to who they are musically, that they'll be fine. They'll have a great shot and a great chance at being able to do this for as a career. It's not very hard anymore. Honestly, it used to be a lot harder to get into the music industry. But now with everything opening up with the internet and the way that is and being able to record in your own home, I mean, I think everyone should definitely, if anyone has the aspirations to become a singer, they should record something and put it on the internet and see what happens, see how people accept it. So I only encourage that. More music, the better.
All right. Could you say a few words to your fans?
Oh, of course. I just want to thank everyone in France and in the rest of Europe for allowing me as an artist and my band members to come over to Europe. Since 1997, I've been coming to Europe. You've always had open hearts and open arms to myself, my band members, and the music. And as I said before, if it wasn't for Europe, there were a lot of times when I didn't know where this was heading. So thank you for supporting the music. Thank you for loving country music and roots music. And please continue to do so because we always need the fans.
I think everybody wants to say you're welcome.
I hope so. I hope we get to shake everybody's hand.
Maybe next time.
Maybe.
What could we wish you now?
I just want to be able to continue to play music and tour and record and write songs. And as I said, I've recently gotten married, so I'm hoping that he and I continue to be able to do this for the rest of our lives. And that's really all I'm concerned about. I think that if I can keep doing this and doing this with my husband, then I'm very fortunate. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you. Have a nice day, and it was really a great pleasure.
Well, thank you. It was my pleasure as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.